Good afternoon to both of you. Welcome. Ambassador, with all due respect, I'm going to direct a set of comments and then a question to Ms. Krass here today. I would note for the record that Ambassador Smith is from my home state and has done us proud, so thank you for your service. Ms. Krass, nice to see you again. We had a chance to sit down last week, and among other things, we discussed the Senate Intelligence Committee's study on the CIA detention and interrogation program, which this committee approved 1 year ago. You've read the section pertaining to the role that the Office of Legal Counsel at the Department of Justice played in drafting legal opinions supportive of the CIA's program. You also told me that you found the study to be hard reading. I think any of us that have read it find it to be hard reading, and that the coercive techniques used by the CIA during that time frame were, quote, not consistent with our values. And I understand that while you were employed with the Office of Legal Counsel, you were not involved in the drafting of OLC opinions regarding the CIA detention and interrogation program. And after our discussion last week, as well as after reviewing your strong credentials and the many letters of support for your nomination, I do believe you're highly qualified for the CIA General Counsel position. But as you know from my discussion and our discussion last week, I've got some deep concerns about how the CIA has interacted with this committee throughout the nearly 4 years that the committee's been researching and drafting the study. And after the committee sent the study to the CIA for its review and response, I and other committee members repeatedly requested that CIA personnel meet with the committee staff to discuss the study and its methodology, but history shows that the CIA declined all of the requests to meet. Then last week, there were a number of articles discussing the one-year anniversary of the vote to approve the committee study. And some of these reports included a statement from the CIA claiming that the CIA has detailed significant errors in the study. I got to tell you, I don't believe that that statement is factually accurate. The CIA took 7 months to review the committee study, then they provided a 122-page formal written response last June. Shortly thereafter, the committee staff held more than 60 hours of meetings with the CIA. And after reviewing the material provided and being briefed on the staff meetings, I'm more confident than ever in the factual accuracy of the committee's 6,300-page study. I want to say that again. I'm more confident than ever in the factual accuracy of the committee's 6,300-page study. I strongly believe that the only way to correct the inaccurate information in the public record on this program is through the sunlight of declassification. The CIA also needs to be more cooperative with this committee with regard to this study. Last week you committed, in general, to working closely with this committee and its staff, which I appreciate. But I need additional information and additional assurances specific to the committee's study before I can support your nomination. Why? First, I noted that the CIA has not yet responded to some outstanding requests for cables and other information that are necessary for completion of the study. You pledged to look into that request, which I appreciate. Secondly, I also asked you to ensure that a copy of the internal CIA review of its detention and interrogation program is provided to the committee. And it appears that this review, which was initiated by former Director Panetta, is consistent with the Intelligence Committee's report, but amazingly, it conflicts with the official CIA response to the committee's report. And if this is true, it raises fundamental questions about why a review the CIA conducted internally years ago and never provided to the committee is so different from the CIA's formal written response to the committee study. I think you can see the disconnect there, if this is true. We've requested a copy of that internal review, but the CIA has yet to provide it, and you did commit to looking into this as well. And then finally, I'd like to see a public statement from the White House committing to the fullest possible declassification of the committee's study, as well as the CIA's response to the study. And I understand that you're not in a position on your own to provide these documents and statements, but confirmation processes are one way that U.S. Senators can be assured that our voices are heard by the White House and the agencies we oversee. And I don't believe my requests are unreasonable, and I want the CIA to know that I take them seriously. With that, I've got a question for you. In our meeting last week, we talked about the critical role of the Department of Justice in reviewing intelligence programs and the special importance of intelligence oversight by the Congress. Can you elaborate on your views on these two matters? One, the role of the DOJ and the importance of Congress's intelligence oversight, and then two, specifically address how your views will guide your interactions with this committee, your engagements with the DOJ, and your counsel to the CIA director.
Senator, thank you for that question. Yes, I completely agree that this committee plays a critical role in the oversight of the CIA, particularly because so much of the work of the CIA has to remain secret by its nature, and this committee needs to provide the important checks and balances that would normally be provided in addition by the American public in those circumstances. I also think that the Department of Justice plays a critical role in providing legal advice to the agency. That advice is authoritative for the agency. Were I to be confirmed, I would consider it my duty to make sure that the committees were informed of all intelligence activities conducted by the CIA, and in particular that the committee understands the legal basis for those activities. I would also be sure that the information provided to the Department of Justice, and particularly to the Office of Legal Counsel, was accurate and timely and up to date. My experience since I've been back at OLC and the leadership of OLC, I've interacted many times with lawyers from the agency, and my experience has been very positive in terms of always feeling like we're getting at OLC the information that we need to give our advice, and we're updated as things change if that happens to be the case. I think that OLC advice is really not useful to a client agency unless the advice is based on the facts as they really are. Otherwise, the client agency has an opinion, but that is addressing a different situation than the one that's truly presented. And if I were to be confirmed, I would make sure that that practice continued the way it has been functioning. I have a good sense of what types of information OLC needs to make informed judgments.
Thank you for that answer, and I do look forward to further conversations on all these important topics. Senator Collins, I think, raised important questions about how this committee and the Intelligence Committee continues to work together in a trusting, forthcoming, open, and transparent way, because we all have the same goal in mind, which is to protect this country, but also protect the most valuable set of principles that we hold dear, which is the Bill of Rights and our Constitution. Thank you.